What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having an amazing day. We have got a crazy lineup of stories for you today. We have got an ex-husband who thinks he's entitled to free babysitting for his affair child, a bouncer dealing with entitled parents at a wedding, and a Thanksgiving dinner that sounds more like a shakedown. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive right into the drama. Our first story comes from the Am I the Asshole subreddit. It is titled, Am I the Asshole for Refusing to Babysit My Son's Half-Sister 3 days a week after school? My ex cheated on me while I was pregnant, and his affair partner turned wife, and I had babies only a few months apart. My son is older for reference. All custody exchanges were done by family members, my mom and his sister, until our son was old enough to walk from one car to the other on his own. Now he is at that age, so we don't need to be face-to-face. The reason it got to this point was a cheating, and also my ex and his affair partner asked me to send over baby clothes, bottles, diapers, etc. for their baby when I purchased them for my son and not their daughter. My ex said they were struggling to afford it, and I made it clear I was not being held responsible for his child with another woman. He told me we could have raised the kids together if I had forgiven him for the affair. Then he called me a stuck-up B-word who acted like being cheated on was the worst thing ever. After that, all communication went through a parenting app. We did not do things together. I did not answer any calls he might have attempted unless our son was with him. Custody is 50-50, so every other week I do need to answer if he calls. Thankfully, he only tried to call for nonsense reasons a couple of times before this. My son is now 9. I have never met his half-sister. He knows that they are related, but she and I are not, and that is something he accepts. Just like he knows they have shared grandparents, their dad's parents, while the other grandparents are just hers or just his. A couple of weeks ago, my ex called while he had our son, and he asked me to babysit his daughter 3 days a week after school. He said his wife was going back to work and they needed childcare 3 additional days. I told him it would never happen and to never ask me again. But ask again he did, this time via text, and I ignored him. He tried to make the request through the parenting app we use, and I simply replied one time that I had said no when he called, and my answer was still no. His wife tried to call me, and then she texted me 10 times saying I needed to be a better mother and put my son first because even though I hate it, her daughter is my son's half-sister, and they should be allowed to grow up close, being so close in age, and her daughter should be loved and accepted by me. I ignored her texts. My ex has tried to guilt trip me with how much they have been through because his wife had stillbirths and miscarriages after their daughter. He has tried to force my hand by getting our son to ask me. At one point, he even said he would come over to my house with his daughter so I could meet her and we could agree to this. I let him know I wasn't going to answer the door if he did this. He even tried to get his attorney to order it. There was brief contact between the attorneys. Mine laughed at his poor attempt to force my hand and told me to continue ignoring him. Am I the asshole? Let's see what the comments had to say about this audacity. Not the asshole. However, I think you need to ask your lawyer to file a motion to have him order him to stop harassing you. Not the asshole, full stop. She ain't your kid. Not the asshole in the slightest. The nerve. As a heads up, they may try to force your hand by telling the school that you'll be picking her up as well or sending her on his bus. Be prepared to call the police. Not the asshole. Why in the world would you ever babysit his affair kid? I would tell him through the parenting app that if he attempts to drop the child off, that you will contact Child Protective Services for child abandonment. Not the asshole. Taking on childcare for them would put you in a really dangerous spot. If anything went wrong or if they claim something did, they could try to twist it into a court issue and push for full custody. It's absolutely not worth the risk. Keeping firm boundaries and everything documented like you've been doing is the safest move for you and your son. Okay, the absolute nerve of this man and his wife is off the charts. He cheats on you while you are pregnant, leaves you for the other woman, and then expects you to provide free babysitting for the baby born from that affair. That is delusional. Original poster, you are doing exactly the right thing. Keep that door locked and keep listening to your lawyer. Do not let them manipulate you. Next up, we have a wedding disaster story. Am I the asshole for agreeing to be a bouncer at my cousin's child-free wedding? Hey guys, my little cousin, 21 female, got married, and in our family, weddings are always a huge affair. My cousin and her fiance have decided they're going to have a small wedding with only adults, as well as no plus ones unless you are married, due to not having the funds to accommodate everyone and their children. I got a call from my cousin a couple of weeks ago asking me if I could run security at her wedding instead of being a guest, because I'm a licensed security guard. Turns out all our family members she invited said they're going to bring their children anyway, and she is absolutely upset. The venue doesn't even allow anybody under 21, and she explained that, but nobody cares. I agreed without even a second thought because somebody needs to make sure her wedding goes the way she wants it to go, especially if she wants to pay me and my coworker to make sure I have backup. Cue the day of the wedding, effing chaos. Our family members showed up with their kids, and holy crap, it was a digital circus. The way I was screamed at and threatened with violence because we denied family members with children in tow has me go no contact with about 30% of the family now. My cousin threw her clutch at me, for God's sake. The venue coordinator had to threaten to call the police to get everyone under control. Everybody with kids left, and the wedding was beautiful. I had never seen my cousin look so beautiful and happy. My phone has been blowing up all day and yesterday with texts and calls from my family members saying I had no right to keep them from attending a family affair, and that the kids deserve to be a part of things too. That as a mother, I should have understood them and let the children in. Am I the asshole? Let's take a look at the comments. Not the asshole. Nope. You did what you were hired to do. Family with kids should have respected the bride and groom. Not the asshole, and good for you for helping her have a special day. But your family sounds like a nightmare, and it will take a long time for them to forgive you for this. People who were warned that no kids were allowed and the venue was not child-friendly and still brought their kids, yeah, they are assholes. Good luck with them in the future. Not the asshole. My bestie got married in a bar's very nice upstairs event room where the bar's bouncers would card all guests at the door specifically to avoid this kind of drama. Nah, you're not. They're the assholes. Simple effing instructions, no kids. Anyone who didn't listen was being selfish and inconsiderate. F them, you did good. You are honestly a hero for this. Child-free weddings are a valid choice, especially when the venue literally does not allow people under 21. The entitlement of these family members to just show up with kids anyway is disrespectful to the bride and groom. You saved your cousin's wedding. Let the family be mad. You did your job.
This next story had me on the edge of my seat. Single father, 38 male, with daughter, 17 female, discovered she has a large amount of cash, and I am suspicious. I am a concerned father of a 17-year-old daughter seeking advice. Names have been changed to maintain some confidentiality. My background info. My wife passed away when my daughter was very young. I was still in college, but with the help of my parents, managed to finish college and graduate school while raising her. I have dated a few times since the death of my wife, but haven't been able to maintain a serious relationship due to my career and the responsibilities of raising my daughter. My relationship with my daughter, Sarah, has always been very good. Sarah shared my love of the outdoors, so we used to go hiking, kayaking, and camping together quite often. In the last year or so, she seemed to become interested in other activities at school, so she hasn't spent as much time with me. I am perfectly okay with that. She is growing up and coming into her own. Financially, we are very secure. I have been fortunate to make a nice living in a career I enjoy, and the hours are pretty manageable. Despite that, I have tried not to spoil my daughter and make sure she understands the importance of work. In exchange for an allowance and gas money, she has to complete chores around the house as well as help our elderly neighbor, she is 90, with things like taking out the trash, getting groceries, etc. She is an A student, participates well in school activities, and used to be a Girl Scout until she was 14. Honestly, I have always been very proud of her. She was out with her friends Saturday to watch a movie. I had a contractor come over to replace a couple of windows in the house while she was out. Now, I have always respected her space, and she knew about this beforehand. I ended up having to move around some of the furniture in her room and discovered a small box behind her drawers. Curiosity got the best of me, and I opened it after the contractor was done, and there was about $3,000 in cash inside. That's way too much money for her to have. After the discovery, I snooped around her room a bit and found some expensive brand-name clothing in her closet that I had never seen her wear before. Some were a bit too mature for my taste, but that's a discussion for another day. Since then, I have double-checked my accounts to see if she had secretly taken money from my accounts, but no. I never carry much cash on me, so she couldn't have stolen it from me. I don't think she is selling drugs because I never found a stash in her room. She is not dating anybody as far as I know, so it couldn't be a boyfriend's money either. I haven't discussed the discovery with her yet, but I intend to do it tonight. Any advice on how to approach this subject with her? $3,000 is a lot of money for her age, and I imagine she has spent more, so we could be talking about $5,000 to $6,000 here. I don't want to be too confrontational and would like a way to bring up the subject so she feels safe enough to be completely honest with me. I am so worried. I keep hoping she isn't caught up in something illegal that could jeopardize her future. Maybe I overlooked some signs. I am freaking out and looking for your help here. Let's look at the original poster's replies to comments before we get to the updates.
Commenter says, you need to talk to her. Say, I was cleaning up after the contractors left and found that box of cash under your dresser. That's a lot of money to leave lying around the house. It would probably be better to deposit that into a bank. How did you manage to save that much up anyway? Everyone's jumping to the worst possible scenarios like drugs or prostitution, but chances are it's perfectly innocent. Original poster replied, thanks for the advice. This seems like a good way to start the conversation. I don't want her to think that I'm snooping around in her bedroom and invading her privacy. I've always stressed to her the importance of dialogue and honesty, so I'm hoping she will come clean and it's nothing serious. Another commenter asks, does she work? If she's been working, that's really not that much money. Either way, I think you need to just ask her about it and don't come from an accusatory place. Original poster edited to add, my daughter doesn't have a part-time job. She does have a savings account that I opened for her with about $1,200 in it, which is why I'm worried she's keeping this money secret. She gets $50 a week in allowance. As for the neighbor, I've told her before that she does not have to give my daughter anything for helping out since I'm already paying her via allowance. The clothing were really high-end brands like Gucci and Versace. Also, I know $50 seems like a lot, but we live in an expensive city. As for my neighbor, she might be 90, but her mind is pretty sharp. I don't know why, but I didn't think about her slipping my daughter cash here and there, so that's a possibility. The more I think about it, the calmer I'm feeling. And now, here is the update. I was signed into this account on my laptop and noticed I received private messages asking for an update to my post, so here it is. I had a long talk with my daughter Sarah that night. I sat her down and described the circumstances of the discovery. I explained that I was worried because it's a large sum of money and I didn't want her savings to be stolen. Well, turns out the elderly neighbor Anne has been giving her cash for the better part of a year now. Anne wanted her to have the money to help with college expenses and told Sarah to keep it a secret from me because I have always refused to accept money from her. Sarah also told me that part of the money was her own. She had been saving up for my birthday present and didn't want to put it in the savings account because, well, she would have to ask me and it wouldn't be a surprise anymore. Later in the conversation, I brought up the expensive clothing. Those were throwaways from her friend's mother. Her friend is really tall, so she couldn't wear them and gave them to Sarah instead. They needed some slight alteration, so she hasn't worn them yet. I apologized for snooping and explained that as a father, I was obviously concerned for her well-being. I also assured her that we are financially stable and I've put aside enough money for her college expenses. I told her to keep an eye out for Anne to make sure that her welfare is not affected by the money she's paying Sarah. Also, I asked her to write a thank you card to her friend's mom and to include a present for her at Christmas this year. After the revelations, I wanted to reward her for her savings habit, so I offered to start a checking account for her and we looked into the options online. Turns out the bank I use offers a junior checking which I can co-sign for her. It turns into her own personal account at 18. She will have the use of a debit card. The bank also offers an online-based financial planning guide, so she will read that before starting the account. We're going to the local branch to set that out for her this weekend. Sarah seemed to reflect well to our talk. She took the opportunity to reveal that she has been in a relationship for a couple of months. I've actually met her girlfriend a few times before. They go to the same school and I just thought they were good friends, so that was a surprise. So yes, she came out of the closet to me. Being a dad, I still verified the clothing story with her friend's mom. Overall, I'm happy it was just me dramatically overreacting. However, I do feel rather guilty for the minor panic attack I had.
As a parent, it's astonishing sometimes how quickly your child grows up. Just another part of the learning process, I guess. Oh, man, what a relief. I'll be honest, I was worried this was going down a darker path with sugar daddies or something illegal. It's so wholesome that the neighbor was looking out for her and that the daughter was saving for a birthday gift. And kudos to the dad for handling it calmly. He verified the story but didn't blow up. And now they're even closer. That is great parenting. Final story for today, and this one involves some serious Thanksgiving drama. Will I be the asshole for refusing to bring $100 minimum to Thanksgiving? My family and I celebrate Thanksgiving every year with my siblings, parents, and their kids. Roughly 20 to 25 people, including kids. My family is only 2 people with one 6-month-old baby. In the group chat, it was decided that my nephew would cook meat since he bought a grill. He also told us that we could bring the sides. He chose to spend $300 on meat. I messaged in the group chat that we would bring mashed potatoes. My sister responded that every family has to bring $100 worth of food minimum or help my nephew pay for the meat. I'm not totally against the idea of bringing that much food, but just the way it was presented and the fact that it wasn't agreed to beforehand makes me upset. The following day in the group chat, my sister said, Option 1, bring food enough for everyone, not just yourself. Option 2, help Thomas pay for meat, $100 per family. Option 3, help dad pay water bill, $200 per family. Choose wisely. Upset, I responded with option 4, don't show up. Am I being an asshole if I don't show up at all in protest to this $100 minimum rule? Short update. I'm a teacher and she posted a picture of my salary she found online to shame me in the group chat. Definitely not going now. Let's check out the comments. Not the asshole. This is a potluck, not a charity dinner. If your nephew couldn't afford to buy the meat, he shouldn't have bought it. The math isn't mathing. $300 divided amongst 20 to 25 people is not $100 per family. Don't forget petty option number 5. Buy $100 worth of mashed potato ingredients and show up with 50 pounds of mashed potato. Not the asshole. $100 worth of sides per family is obscene and far too much food. Edited to add, not the asshole, I have never in my life seen a water bill over $200. Your sister kind of sounds like a controlling asshole. Your sister posting your salary makes her the asshole. 20 to 25 adults, not including kids. If every adult brings a dish to share, there should be plenty of food to go around. Choose wisely would have me staying home enjoying the peace and quiet of my living room for free. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, that choose wisely would have ticked me off. They did this to themselves and can't just drop it on you and expect it to be your problem too. Okay, the sister is completely out of line here. First of all, the water bill option, that is just a random shakedown. But posting your salary in the group chat to try and shame you, that is unbelievably toxic. You made the right call. Stay home, save your $100, and enjoy a drama-free Thanksgiving with your own little family. That is all the drama we have time for today, folks. I really want to know what you would do in that Thanksgiving situation. Would you have paid the money or stayed home? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed these stories, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Stay safe, handle your boundaries, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.